At Gamescom 2012, Machinima host Adam Kovic famously described Far Cry 3 as being like Skyrim with guns.
And I've already told you this, but it feels like Skyrim with guns.
Yeah, that's a huge compliment. Huge compliment.
But this is not Far Cry 3. This is Skyrim with guns. Specifically, I am using the mod Skyrim SE Modern Weapons by MirC33 to quote-unquote enhance my gameplay. Now, the way Modern Weapons works is that guns are crafted at forges out of gold coins and act as staves. So in order to effectively build a gun-based character, I'm going to need a lot of gold and a lot of soul gems. I'm also using Ordinator Perk Overhaul by NIC Ion, which has a branch specifically for staff-based builds in the enchanting tree. So in addition to acquiring a lot of gold and soul gems, I'm also going to need to power level enchanting so that my quote-unquote staves are more viable in combat. Which brings us to character creation. This is Gatria. She's an Imperial, so she has the passive ability of Imperial Luck, which grants an extra 2 to 10 gold in each container that would normally carry gold. This includes corpses too. Hopefully this will make the process of gun crafting a lot faster. Before we start breaking the game with guns though, we need to escape Helgen. In the early game, I stick mainly to warhammers because giant hammers are cool. After escaping Helgen, I stick close to Riverwood using Anissa's cellar as a temporary base of operations for any alchemy or enchanting work. I venture into Bleak Falls Barrow, making sure to loot as many containers as I can, in addition to bringing Lucan's Claw and the Dragonstone back with me. After giving the Claw back to Lucan, I'm left with 1,994 gold, just 6 coins shy of being able to craft the cheapest gun in the game. I raid a bandit camp up a mountain path just east of Riverwood, and that gets me just over the line. I return to Alvor's Forge and craft a sawn-off TOZ-66 shotgun for 2,000 gold. This gun can only fire twice before needing to be recharged, but it will hopefully help me greatly in the early game. Eager to use my new weapon to its full potential, I shoot the giant terrorizing the Pelagia farm, killing it with one shot from a few hundred feet away. After a brief chat with the Jarl and his court wizard, it's time to kill Mirmalnir. But not before buying Soul Trap off of Farengar. I'm gonna need a lot of souls to feed my magic gun staff. I hope Valerica likes wolves. I meet with Irleth and company at the Western Watchtower and begin the fight with Mirmalnir. I'm hesitant to shoot him at first because I think I'm gonna break his AI by one-shotting him in midair. I wait for him to land and shoot him once with a shotgun. It takes out about half of his health, but the gun runs out of charge after that shot and I'm left with no soul gems, so I resort to hitting him with a hammer until he dies. After that, it's time for the core early to mid-game gameplay loop. Stealing souls, looking for soul gems, looking for enchanted gear, disenchanting enchanted gear, and selling more goodies to maximize profit so I can craft a better gun for 6,000 gold. All the while looking at the Ordinator enchanting tree and seeing just how powerful I can become. My end goal is the Staff Recharge perk, which makes it so that staves, or guns, regenerate 5 charge points per second when equipped. It should also be noted that the first level enchanting perks give more recharge points in relation to your enchanting level, so my guns will gradually become less soul hungry. I also picked the Staff Channeler perk at one point, which allows me to passively generate enchanting experience by being in combat with a staff equipped, regardless of whether or not I actually use it. In between all the grinding, I'm going to need to tackle a few main quests. I climb up to High Hrothgar from Skybound Watch, where the Greybeards send me to Ustengrav. On the way there, I raid a few mages' hideouts in the hopes of finding some soul gems, most notably Broken Fang Cave and Draelis' cottage. I also established Mirwatch as my new base of operations, and almost forget to loot the treasure trove of soul gems within. I go through Ustengrav as usual and use the very handy enchanting table towards the end of the dungeon to enchant a steel sword with a 1-second soul trap enchantment. This will pretty much ensure a soul capture as long as I deal the final blow with the sword. I also rename it to Friends for Valerica, smiley face. After reading Delphine's note, it's time for her section of the main quest. After meeting her in Riverwood, I take one of her katanas off the wall and enchant it with the same 1-second soul trap I gave the steel sword, just for that extra bit of damage. After all that intense questing, I have finally saved up 6,000 gold. Enough money to craft a better gun. I choose the Desert Eagle, then make my way to Kynes Grove, eager to find a big, scaly target to test it on. I kill Salaknir with 3 shots. There's a good reason that the file name for modern weapons says Joke Mod. After that, I give the horn back to the Greybeards and talk to Delphine about infiltrating the Thalmor embassy. From there, diplomatic immunity proceeds as normal, except instead of stabbing the Thalmor, I shoot them with a gun. I also managed to save Melbourne and shoot that troll in the cave. I return to Riverwood, get my stuff back from Delphine's chest, and raid Brittleshin Pass and Ilinalta's Deep before heading to Riften to look for Esbern. I shoot all the Thalmor, rescue Esbern, and bring him back to Riverwood in one piece, where he directs us to Alduin's Wall inside Karthspire Cave. Before going there, however, I make a quick stop at Fort Snowhawk to loot some more soul gems off the Necromancers. I get attacked by a dragon on my way to Karthspire and kill him with 5 shots from my Deagle. I get attacked by another dragon at my destination and kill him with 4 shots. I then shoot all the Forsworn outside before carrying on to Skyhaven Temple. At Skyhaven Temple, Esbern does a lot of talking and refers me to the Greybeards to learn Dragon Rend. The Greybeards refer me to Parthenax, and Parthenax tells me to come back with an Elder Scroll. If I was doing a no-sequence break run, like my in-game speedrun, I would have to talk to the college at this point, but I'm not, so I go directly to Septimus's outpost, but not before raiding Fort Castav and meeting a pair of twins on the road. Septimus gives me the magic cube and ball, so it's off to Alftan. This is the part where I realized that I was an idiot. I spent all that time scouring Necromancer and Vampire layers for soul gems, but I completely forgot that Dwarven Animunculi dropped both empty and filled soul gems. If I'd gone through a Dwemer Ruin in the mid-game, I would have saved a lot of time. Regardless, time is not of the essence right now. I make my way through Alftan, feeling more powerful than ever. Usually Dwemer Ruins are treacherous, but my Deagle makes quick work of any robots, Falmer, or Charai that dare stand in my way. After unceremoniously killing the Centurion and 2 surviving adventurers, I make my way into Blackreach. In Sindarian's lab, I finally achieve what I've been working for this whole time: enchanting level 60. Now I can pick the staff recharge perk and essentially have infinite ammo. Despite the lack of real need for soul gems anymore, I still go through Blackreach and mine any geodes I see. Blackreach is a lot less threatening when you have a gun. Once I'm finished, I enter the Tower of Mazark, grab the Elder Scroll, and leave for the Throat of the World. At the Throat of the World, I read the Elder Scroll and travel back to the past to learn Dragon Rend. Then Alduin shows up and I beat him with 6 shots from the Deagle and a swing of my sword. Makes up for the 8 minutes I spent fighting him in the in-universe speedrun video. Now it's time for Season Unending. If you've beaten Skyrim's main quest, you know how this goes. The gun doesn't make it any less boring. I talk to Balgrove, he refuses to help me until I negotiate a ceasefire in the Civil War. I negotiate a ceasefire in the Civil War and Balgruuf agrees to help me. But before I call Odahviing, I sell some of my stuff in order to get over the 10,000 gold threshold needed to craft a better gun. I pick the MP5 and make my way to Dragon's Reach to call Odahviing. The first time I call him, I break his AI by reducing his health to 0 while he's perched on the wall, so I have to reload. Second time seems to be the charm. Odahviing carries me to Skuldafn where I'll just let the footage speak for itself. Once I'm in Sovngarde, it's time to duel Tsun.
Living or dead, by decree of Shor, none may pass this perilous bridge till I judge them worthy by the warrior's test. You fought well. I find you.
After that, it's time to meet up with the ancient heroes and fight Alden. After shouting at the mist, the time has come to strike. Well, that certainly didn't last very long. So, what are my overall impressions from using modern weapons to supplement gameplay? Well, for one, the guns are hilariously overpowered, especially when combined with the Ordinator perk tree. While in the early game the guns are more of a crutch for dealing with bosses, it quickly devolves, or rather evolves, into a one-sided massacre of any aggressive wildlife, bandits, Draugr, Falmer, Animunculi, or dragons that dare stand in the Dragonborn's way. So, all in all, very much in the spirit of the Elder Scrolls. That was my attempt to complete Skyrim's main quest with Mirc33's Modern Weapons mod, supplemented by Ordinator by an ICIon. I'll post links to these mods in the description. I'm also considering making this a series, but I'm not sure whether it'd be fun to watch me tackle all the faction quest lines as an unstoppable god. So do let me know in the comments as to whether or not you'd like to see that. And thanks for watching.